Alright everyone, it's time to show you a garden update. There is a scratch on the lens, not my fault, and it's all good. You can still basically see what's going on here for the most part. There's cucumber plants, there's some weeds in here, some of that's Nicotiana actually, and some catnip. I'll munch through it. These are actually the beans that my subscriber sent me, the red ones. Those I'm sure will be tasty. Plenty of spinach in the back, which is actually doing really well. Honestly, morning glories, cucumbers. There are yellow squash coming up now, as you can see here. One of those. I'm trying to keep the shot to the side here where it's not scratched. And the beets, of course, are coming up. Lots of corn and beans. I've planted them. Basically, it's one corn and then one bean in order. You can see there's a bean there, some corn, some more corn, and then it just sort of alternates all the way down. It's companion planting. It's healthier. There are zucchini plants in here. You can see 3 and 2 more. Basically, I wanted to make sure that there would be at least a couple in each of these little rectangular areas because I'm going to thin them and they'll be fine. The Swiss chard is doing really well. There's going to be a shit ton of that. There are 5 rows of Swiss chard here. And I know I have to do a little weeding, but I'm going to do that tomorrow when it's not rainy. The spinach, on the other hand, I have constant problems with it. It wilts before the second leaves come out. I don't know why. And then there are cucumbers in this row. And I'll thin that out to like 7 heads of cucumber or so once they get a little bit bigger. Now, I want to show you something I'm very proud of. Oh yeah. I'm trying to keep it to the side so the scratch isn't in the way of the shot. Lots and lots and lots of flowers. All those are actual clay pots, no plastic. I don't want plastic in my garden. The tire is an exception. I only like organic materials in my garden. And the carrots here are still too small to record along with the tomatoes, but they have come up. So those will be fine. But I mean, look at this shit. Lots and lots of color splashing into the garden. The gas plant is twice the size as it used to be. Probably do pretty well there. I'm glad it survived because I only had 1 of them. I want it to go to seed so I can plant more of them. And then the morning glories. These are heavenly blue, so those are just fine. And of course those little pink bushes, these 2, and then irises, lilies. There's some chamomile in the end. The chamomile is starting to get blossoms. As you can see, the first set of blossoms is getting ready to come out. They put out 1 flush of blooms, and then they put out a second, and then usually there's a continuous flush of blooms until the first frost or thereabouts. Sometimes, though, they bloom into November, even in this climate, which is quite something, trust me. And there are lots of little carrot plants here. Carrots. I know I have to weed in this area. This area is the one that has the most weeds in it, but it'll only take me like 5 minutes to weed the whole bed, so it's not a huge problem. More morning glories. Got this huge poppy in the mulch outside of the actual garden. It's just like a couple inches removed. The thing is, if this were actually straight, it would encompass that plant. I'll have to do that at some other time or something. And then there are pumpkins actually in here. And they're going to do pretty well since that stuff there is pure compost mixed with some sphagnum moss and topsoil. Almost no native soil. It's literally perfect. It's all mounded up here, as you can see, more or less into a big dome. And I'll thin that out to a couple of actual pumpkin plants, probably those 2 that have leaves right there, and I'll remound it around them so that they'll have nice, thick, happy soil. And it's been raining, so right now everything is extra lush. And of course, that means the weeds start coming up. You can see probably all the spinach in back there coming up in rows. But as soon as the sun comes out, whether it's wet or not, half of those will wilt and die. There doesn't seem to be much to do about that. And then, out here, see the waste area where the bed used to be. Out here, there are a lot of California poppies actually coming up here, which I didn't expect. I'm going to let those grow and take care of them, maybe move them if I can. I don't know if that's possible, more or less. And then there are mustard plants over here. I figure I'll just harvest for this year and then cover it over with grass seed or something. And then there's a hollyhock. The hollyhocks have mostly died out though. for the most part, they're gone. I'll take you out back here. You can see the work that I've done and how lovely it is. All the rhubarb has to be moved. Thankfully, though, I think I've got a plan for that now. You can see this giant-ass chamomile plant. That's one plant there. These are all single individual plants that I transplanted last fall. They're huge now. So there's going to be chamomile everywhere. There are all sorts of perennials in this garden. But you can see it's nice and bordered. Everything's healthy. Everything's lush. And then I exhausted what was composted in there and then retilled all that over to the side. And what I'm thinking is, because I want to make a cat enclosure in the back, I mean, the fence is already up, one of the beds is already made. I want to move these catnip plants, these two and that one, in there, destroy these horseradish plants, and then put all the rhubarb in here, actually, in this general region. At least the strawberry rhubarb will be fine because it's a smaller plant. And when I do that, this will look nice. This will be all bushy and filled in, and this will actually be more or less gone, at least, you know, to about here or thereabouts. And if that's done, then the trucks can service the electric lines, because that was really the goal, is to have a right-of-way for them in behind the garden, as opposed to them having to go around the other side if they had to service anything. And it would just be beneficial, I think, for them, as well as for me, because then they're not going right through the middle of the property and potentially grinding through the turf, leaving weeds in their wake. And I just wanted you to see also, really quick here, one of the many small entryways that I've formulated into these berry bushes. You can see I can go quite a bit down into here. Almost all of this is blackberry and raspberry. All of this. I mean literally. All of these bushes, other than some of these little suckly trees. I don't even quite know. I think it's called an invasive honeysuckle or something, like, you know, destroy them and nobody cares. Everything else here is a berry. And they're all loaded with blossoms or with little buds. I think this is a blackberry. You can see there are buds all over it. So there's going to be some shit. And that's not the only one. I've got a path here that goes down in, and I figured this would help prevent disease from spreading too, if it sort of chops them up. This one goes and curves around and actually conjoins this one. And there's a lily plant down there. I did not put that there. I don't know how it began. It must have been a stray seed, took root. I've seen lily plants out in the middle of the woods and I didn't put those in either. This one here is quite formidable. There's a little step down, and another step, and another step. And you can go almost all the way to the edge. This is beyond the property line, but nobody does anything with it. They don't care. The power and water companies here, they don't want you to dump trash or, you know, perturb the wildlife or fuck around with the dam, but they don't really care if you come and harvest berries, because they're not responsible. I mean, if you get sick, it's your own fucking fault. This is Vermont, not California. So they don't really care. And then look at all the blossoms. Ah, there's be a lot of raspberries in this little area, and I'm going to be able to harvest all of them. I help them spread too, and you can see the old moss-covered stump that's from like 15 years ago or some shit. Yeah. Look at how green it is, though. Yeah, this is what Vermont looks like for 3 months out of the year. The rest of the year, it's all snowy and fucked up. But for halfway through May, through June, July, and halfway into August, it's really nice. Rest of the year, it's kind of chilly. Well, I think maple or something. Swamp maple, maybe. Yeah. See that. Doesn't that look nice? All buttressed there. The cinder blocks propped up. That's about all. Peace out.